Hi, welcome to Craft Little Things. I'm Andrea. I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas card today using some new and some old Stampin' Up products. You can replace any of these for any other products. It doesn't have to be Stampin' Up. And really, this is just my first Christmas card of the year. I'm going to start a playlist with Christmas cards in it, and I'm also going to do a playlist with Christmas projects in it. And I'm going to start popping things into that sort of now. I've been prompted because the Joyous Sets, which is a Facebook group I belong to, I talk about it a lot because I enjoy being a part of it. I've got no other interest in it, in that it's not my group. I'm not an admin of the group. I don't gain anything from talking about the group. It's just that I really enjoy it and I like to share the things that I enjoy. They've already started an album. The Joyous Sets has albums that you pop your things into with a specific focus. That might be a stamp set, a paper, it might be a scrapbooking piece, and now there's a Christmas album to pop Christmas things into, so that we're building up a nice selection for people to have a look at and be inspired by. Joyous Sets is predominantly Stampin' Up, but you can use any materials at all by any company, and you can do cards or you can do 3D projects. That's fine. It is mainly cards though, and now obviously they have scrapbooking pages as well. So I'm starting off with an 8x6 piece of Real Red cardstock. If you're sort of new to my channel or you're new to Stampin' Up products, all Stampin' Up has a massive colour catalogue, if you like. I'll show you it. So these are all the colours in the Stampin' Up range, and they produce, there's 10 in what's called the Regal collection, 10 in the Subtles collection, 10 in the Brights, 10 in the Neutrals. Then you have 10 what are called in colours, which revolve. So these are the core range, and then these are revolving colours, so they'll come in for 2 years and disappear. And then there's the basics, which are white, vanilla and black. But all of these colours, with the exception of one or two, have an alliterative name. So like this here is Crushed Curry, Calypso Coral, Melon Mambo, Soft Suede. Even white is Whisper White, Basic Black, Tranquil Tide. And there's only a couple that aren't. Lemon Lime Twist, which is almost. Call Me Clover, which has the me in it. But I think other than that, Granny Apple Green, so that says the apple in it. But they're all sort of alliterative. Soft Seafoam, that one's got 3 words. So yeah, so when you hear me talking about Real Red and Old Olive, like I am going to be in this project, that's just the name of that shade. And it does help because it helps you to match things up, because Stampin' Up all of those colours I've just showed you, they have cardstock, ink pads, re-inkers, pens, blends, pencils, maybe not in every single colour, but in most of the colours. And the designer series paper also has colours which match those colours, so you won't find anything on current designer paper that you can't find a cardstock and an ink to match, and that goes for all elements of it. So this will be Real Red, this is Old Olive, this is probably Tranquil Tide, then you'll have Very Vanilla in here. Even the brown is probably Early Espresso. So every colour, the Whisper White, it will all match. So that's one of the things, what's one of the favourite things when people are asked what's your favourite thing about Stampin' Up, that's one of the favourite things, that coordination. Because even the ribbons, the twines, the embellishments, the stick-on, you know, the little diamonds and pearls and things, even they're colour coordinated. And that's why Stampin' Up things kind of retire and refresh, because if colours retire, then everything associated with that colour will retire. So those in colours that I showed you, those revolving colours, every year there'll be 5 colours that go out and 5 new colours that come in. So obviously everything associated with those 5 colours will go out. So when if you've ever wondered, because when I first started watching a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I thought, what on earth is she talking about? Coastal Cabana and mint macaron. I thought, what on earth is she on about? But yeah, that's what I'm on about. Anyway, I've digressed. So this is my first Christmas project this year, and like I said, it uses some old stuff, some stuff that's been around for a while, some stuff that's retired, and some new stuff. So this is the Real Red cardstock base, and this measured 8 inches by 6 inches, so that's 20.3 centimetres by 15.2, and I scored it at 4, that's 10.2, and folded it and burnished it to make the card base. Then I took this piece, which is from a new Christmas paper, which is in the annual catalogue, and this is called, I think it's called Merry Mistletoe, and it's got some nice sort of traditional Christmassy images, and it's got some that could be used all year round. I've gone for this sort of berry one, but if you look closely, these berries are actually jingle bells, and I love jingle bells. Anyone who knows me knows I love jingle bells. I pop them on everything. So that's my base there. And then I've made these little sort of inches, and I've used Old Olive, Real Red, and then Very Vanilla, and this is stamped with Real Red. So this first one measures 1 inch and 5/8 square, so that's 4.1 centimetres squared. So there's 3 of those, and then there's 3 Real Red, which measure 1.5 inches square, so that's 3.8 centimetres square, and then there's 3 Very Vanilla, which measure 1 inch and 3/8 squared, so that's 3.5 centimetres squared. And then what I've done is I've stamped in red onto one of these. I've stamped Merry and Bright, and that comes from a retired set, which I loved last year, and I just never gave it its full attention because I've never got a chance to. So I got it from there. That's a retired set called What's of Occasions. And then I used Real Red ribbon, which is currant, to make this little bow. This is a cotton ribbon, and let me just see, it's 1/8 of an inch, so it's sort of 3mm wide. That's in the current catalogue. And all I did was I made a little bow and I stuck it on. If you're wondering how to make little bows like that, you can use a fork or a quilling comb, or I just have a piece of dowling and I just tie them around that, get them nice, snip the edges off, and then attach them with a glue dot. And then on this one, I took some retired, I think they're from last year, I'm not sure, they might be the year before, mini jingle bells, which are here. They come in silver and red. I'm not even sure, I don't think, I can't really see, they're so tiny. It doesn't say on the back, but I think they're actually cherry cobbler, which is a darker red, which is very Christmassy red. But they work on this. And then I use some gold twine just to thread a few on, because they do jingle. Use this retired gold twine to thread some on, but you can use any twine, or you can buy gold crochet thread or something. And I just threaded 3 of those on, knotted it, and then I've just taped it onto the back. And I've just used a little bit of random washi tape to do that, because you're not going to see it anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to compile my card. And I'm doing this in like an absolute beginner's way. So I'm making, I want to make some really easy sort of first attempt cards, and in my little Christmas playlist. And I also want to make some more elaborate ones. And I'm a beginner card maker myself. I've not been making cards for very long, so don't think there's going to be anything that is going to be too testing, because it's not. Just pop that down. Don't do what I do and get it wrong. Now this card, you can either, you could add another layer of one of the greens. You could do it this way up and have your pieces going across the middle. Oh, do you know what? I think I might actually do that. I think I might have my pieces going across the middle. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to layer these up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the first 2 down and put the last piece on with dimensionals. Okay, so I'm just going to run some glue on the red pieces and pop those on Try and get them nice and central so you've got an even edge. You see how your card design ideas can change? Like I was going to make this a standing up card and now I've decided to make it, I was going to make this like a portrait card and I've decided to make it a landscape card now. Just think it, for some reason I just think it'd look nicer. Okay, and then the other pieces I'm going to stick on with dimensionals, and I'm also going to stick the entire thing on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop a couple. I mean, I don't know, the one with the jingle bells on, because it's taped on the back, you might want to lay that one flat and glue it on just to secure those jingle bells. That is entirely up to you. You might want to pop a little bit of glue on the jingle bells or use a glue dot just to make sure that they stay put. My little dog's sniffling away. I think sometimes people must think that I can't breathe when they hear her in the background. That just gives those little jingle bells a little bit of lift, you see. Okay, now obviously I'm going to pop my first one on in the middle, which will help me to make sure everything's lined up. Oops. You could run a strip of card through the back here if you wanted to. You know, to sort of pop things on, give them a bit of depth or something. You don't have to, but it might be nice to do that. Decide which way you're going to have your... I mean, you can pop these any way you want to, so you can... You don't have to put them in this order. And you might want to stamp all three of them. You might want to just put jingle bells on all three of them. You might want to do things a different way. It's the way I've done them. That's perfectly okay. Just going to take that off and line it up a little bit better. You might want to draw a line just to help you pop those in the right place. But there we have it. That's our little Christmas card. How simple was that? And it's so cute. That's it. I don't know how often I'm going to make a card. It might be once a week. I think I'll aim for once a week to make a card or a Christmas project, and then I'll have probably a Christmas sort of week or two where I just make Christmas projects when the autumn winter catalogue comes out probably, and I go crazy because yeah, that's a good time to do it. But that's a lovely card. I love cards with moving bits and little relief and stuff. That's lovely. I mean, you can secure it tighter if you want to with glue, but that's what I love that. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.